Good evening. Welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw, and tonight we are going to learn how to jump timelines. Awesome, exciting, and pretty simple, actually. I know that everybody was listening to another show, another call that may still be going on, so we may not have a very big turnout tonight, but I didn't want to start later. So we're going to go ahead right now. Please hold your rumble rants and your questions until I tell you. Okay. Looks like we got quite a few people in here already. Actually, no. Oh, well, then they miss out. They're going to have to watch the replay. And you'll have to excuse my voice. I'm just getting over whatever, recent pandemic they have circling around. It was gone through the house. So, it wasn't a sinus infection. It was that kicked off a sinus infection. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, so, a little scratchy. Hello, everyone. Gina's in there. Okay, so let me get to my notes. Okay, I don't want to do that. What the hell? I don't want to look in my journal. Thank you. Okay. Not now. All right, there we go. Okay. So recently, I've noticed that a lot of people are struggling with depression. Maybe not, serious depression, but everybody's just been really down. They've really been fighting off the blues. I don't know if it's energetic or we've just all been waiting too long for too many things. But I've seen it more often than not. And I've fought off my own too many times over the years. You just get to a point where it's just one disappointment or heartbreak after another, and you're just kind of like, what usually happens with people like that is, with me, I go into hermit mode. I'm just at home. And I try to distract myself, get into whatever projects, and try to, just work through it. And what I've found over the years is I found strength, of course, in leaning on God. I'm always going to talk about God, so if you don't like that, you're at the wrong show. Okay. God-centered conscious creation is what I'm going to teach, so we're going to talk about God. So when I get down in a place like that where you're just like, I can't go on, I can't take it anymore, nothing ever good ever happens to me, I try so hard, and it's just one heartbreak after another, one disappointment after another, and my angels, Gabriel, Michael, are over there like, oh, I know, look at each other, she'll be fine, because I usually am. Because what happens to me is I just rise again stronger, like a phoenix from the ashes, because you get to a point where you get to a crossroad, Well, what are you going to do? Going to give up? What are you going to do if you give up? You can only lay there for so long before you're going to have to get up and do something. Okay, so let's come to some kind of conclusion here. What is it that you want now? all the things that you wanted didn't happen or haven't happened yet. So how do you cope now? And I found strength by choosing what I want to experience next. So let's say you've got too much sadness, okay? Well, do I want to keep wallowing in this sadness? Do I want to keep fixating on it? What do you really want? Well, I don't want to be sad anymore. Okay, well, what do you have to do to not be sad anymore? You have to look for the happiness. You have to look for the joy. You have to start, do the 3 steps to centered. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, I don't have time to explain it right now, but it's basically taking a look around your life and recognizing all the blessings that you have. It's a gratitude exercise. You got to choose what you need to let go of and choose what you want to hold on to. Choose what you want to believe now about your life and about where you're going and about yourself. And number one question is, do I have to feel this way? And the answer is always no. You don't. Life is a series of choices, one after another. And yes, we have people around us who make choices that we don't like, and they upset us. But within that, we can either choose to be completely centered in that choice that somebody else made that made us miserable, or choose to move on from it and fight every moment to move on from it. And how do we do that? We should distract our attention. Okay, all right, where's the joy? Where's the happiness? The smallest of things. We've been going through this for a while, if you've been watching me. So then we make a choice that we have to either release them, the person, it, or that. And that has put us in this place. Understand how we got here. And maybe we shouldn't do that again. And then you pray for every ounce of strength you need to keep going. And that help will come. So what are we really doing here in life when we're making these choices? We're jumping timelines. We're jumping paths. We've seen it with the RV, that we've been following for so long. I've been reporting on. It's frustrating. And something that is worldwide like that, there's so many choices that can be made. It can shift the timeline and what that looks like. And where that finish line is has everything to do with how many times the timeline shifts. And that is frustrating. But for you in your personal life, you have a little more power than that. This RV, we have no power over that. We just watch and pray and hope. But we need to understand that when you choose to stay centered in all of the negative thought patterns, in the woe is me, and the no, I cannot let go of this, I will not let go of this because this is not what I wanted, then you stay on a timeline where that suffering is possible. Okay? Because you're telling the creator, you're telling the universe, if that's what you want to call it, that is where you want to stay. And everybody says, well, why would I want to suffer? Why would I want to be here? Why would I do that? I would never do that. Yes, you do. Every second of every day. Yes, you do. No, I'm not done with this yet, is what you're telling creation, and that I'm going to wallow in this pain and this suffering and this sadness and this regret and this disappointment. And I'm going to stay exactly where that is because I'm somehow, it's not that you're enjoying it, but it's you're choosing to be there. You want to be there. So the first step in shifting a timeline is deciding that you no longer want to be on that timeline. Serious decision. Okay? No. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be anxious. I'm not anxious, but I'm just saying, if you're dealing with this, but I don't want to be sad anymore. I don't want all this hardship anymore. And that's the first choice that you make. And then you have to leave it all in the past. And so we pray for the strength to move forward in a positive direction, to not keep entertaining those thoughts, and then we jump timelines. Leave it all in the past, and it's not crazy to believe that you can do this. It's survival. It's something that's going on every moment of every day. It's the power of choice. And then anything and anyone whose energy doesn't match the highest timeline, if we jump onto it, if you choose to jump onto the highest timeline, will fade off into the past. A lot of times we don't make that choice because we don't want them to fade off in the past. If you broke up with somebody or you're waiting for somebody to come around, you want them to come back. But they didn't. And at some point in time, you have to realize, well, maybe they won't. So I have to do what's best for me. And I'm going to keep pushing forward. Cannot stay in the limbo of depression, anxiety, and negative thoughts, because you will create a negative reality or destroy the positive creation of your reality. So, and you don't have to be perfect to jump onto your highest timeline, okay? You don't have to be totally evolved or 5D or whatever it is. Okay, it's because there's no benchmark. Okay, nobody's got a scale. There's no graduation day on this. You just have to choose to go to there and skip all the rest. The choice in itself elevates your vibration and your soul. And then you take it from there. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with having these emotions. They're the catalyst that leads you to your elevation. And, been in that. All my spiritual friends out there are quite aware of this. That at certain points in time, along their lifetime, they have gone through another spiritual evolution. They leveled up. And usually before that happens, unfortunately, you go through some kind of an emotional or some kind of distress. And that is when you make the choice to level up. And so that is why the pain elevates you. It's not like, oh, yes, it's good to suffer. No, it's just that you chose not to suffer anymore. And that is good and high vibrational. And that is how you leveled up. Okay. So these emotions that we have, it's okay to have them. We want to acknowledge them. We want to work through them. And like I've always said, cry it out, but then you get up off the floor and you keep going straight ahead. Okay? Take your minute. Take your time. We need to get it out. Go into hermit mode, whatever. But we don't stay there because that is limbo. That is purgatory. That is prison. And we can't do that. Another thing we don't want to do, we have to be very careful not to become our villains. Life has taught us to retaliate, to blame, to judge, to find reason. Why did this happen? Why has this got to be somebody's fault? Whose fault is it? I have never, unless there's something constructive that we can do or teach somebody, whoever's fault it was, I have never found the importance of spending a lot of time pointing fingers at whoever's fault it was. Unless something, like a crime or something. I'm talking about, just regular life. We don't want to stay centered in fighting our villains. Defend yourself, take care of business. But then when you're done with that, you leave them to their business. And you step back onto your higher timeline. Because there is that centering yourself in anger and fear and retaliation and revenge and all that stuff, that is just lowering your vibration. We're not creating anything good when we do that. That's staying centered and in turn controlled by your villains. Now, when I say villains, they may not be bad people, but the ones that upset you, okay? Doesn't mean everybody's a villain just because they upset you. So in doing all of this and working through the emotion and making different choices, we're choosing our highest timeline. Okay, well, I don't want to be sad anymore. I want happiness. Where does happiness reside? On the highest timeline. Okay, well, excuse me. I don't want to struggle anymore. I want financial freedom. Where does that reside? On the highest timeline. Okay, well, I don't want all this fighting and turmoil and chaos in my life. Where does the peace reside? On the highest timeline. Okay, sorry, I'm just like sweating to death in here. It is so hot in this house. I got the air conditioner guy coming out on Wednesday. I'm a little scared about it. I'm just going to say, take all my money and turn it back on. I don't care. I don't even care. Buy the thing. Here's a credit card. I'll throw it on the damn card. I've been trying not to do that. I'll throw it on the damn card. Okay. So let me put this together real quick before I screw it up. All right. Okay, here's the exercise. All right, so you're going to want to write this. Well, you know what? I would rather that you listen to me first so that this is easily absorbed, okay? And then go back and write it down, okay? What our timestamp is, but look at the timestamp right now. Write it down. Write that down, and then go back and write it down. Okay, so we're choosing our highest timeline. So this is the visualization. This is the jumping timelines exercise. Okay? And yes, I am sneaky. And yes, I have been trying to get everybody to do this as the collective so that we can get to our destination that I've been working so goddamn hard to report on. Okay? We're getting there. Hell or high water, we are getting there. I'm determined. So, okay. I am sick and hot. So not looking the best today. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Made this up today. I did it. It was awesome. All right, so this is a visualization. You do not have to be in like meditation, deep meditation. Just have sit quietly, close your eyes. This is a visualization. And that's really all that meditation is, unless you're doing the interdimensional where you're projecting your consciousness. But this is just a light meditation, okay? I want you to visualize that you are looking at your phone. Okay? And on your phone, you are looking at this your lifetime, this time around, the golden path right down the middle, where the most abundance, happiness, health, comfort, success resides, okay? This is always present. This is your best plan, okay? So we're looking at that. We see the golden line down the middle. On the side of that golden line, we've got on-ramps and off-ramps and roads that go off and twirl around in circles and go through the woods. And just all kinds of roads all over on the side of this golden timeline, okay? And our choices decide where we are on this map at any point in time. So what I want you to do is to choose the road you'd like to be on now. While you're looking at your phone, touch it. And when you touch it, I want you to experience being pulled into the phone and your feet landing firmly on that golden path. Okay, visualization. That's what we're doing. Look around. Now I want you to imagine that you're in your car. Your current car. It would be easiest to do your current car. It doesn't matter if you like your car or not. Okay? And when I did this, so I was in the Sequoia when I did this. And now you realize that you're in your car. Your car is your vehicle. Your car is your body. Okay? And like I told you before, this lifetime is you and God on a journey. This is how we're going to think about it. This is how we're going to see our journey from now on. We're no longer doing anything alone. Never were, but we're conscious of it. We're aware of it now. So now we're sitting in our car on the road, on your golden path. Now I want you to turn to the passenger seat and see that God is sitting right there, looking at you. He can look any way you would like him to look. Mine is the typical, older man with the white hair and the short white beard, and he's got these piercing blue eyes. It's awesome. It's like almost kind of intense. You can't look too long. Now I want you to tell him that this is the path that you're going to take him down now. Because he deserves it. Because if you can't do this, see, when you can't do something for yourself, you need to shift and do it for somebody else. And you're going to tell him that he deserves it. Because he has suffered along with you. And that's enough now. And then I want you to tell him you're taking him down this path because he deserves it. And then listen. If you listen to anything he says, I want you to tell him the destinations on this path, in general terms. We have been broke for too long. I am taking you down this road to abundance. We have been sad too long. I am taking you down to this road to happiness. We have been anxious too long. We are taking you down this road to peace. We have been overlooked too long. I am taking us down this road to love. And then listen to what he says. And you want to know what he said to me? He's just beaming, just smiling at me. And he said, let's go. Shift into gear. Then we want you to shift the car into drive. And start driving. Start driving. Okay? That is the jumping timeline exercise. Now, I would like you to do this. Now, this is the initial exercise, all right? This is our initial jump. This is our choice. This is where we're going to be. You will notice the subtle changes in you, in the way that you think, in the way that you act, in the results around you, the happenings around you. I have. Interesting. I want this to be a daily thing. It only takes a minute. But I would like you to remind yourself daily that this is the path that we're on. And that I am not alone. This is what I've been saying for years. Even when you think you are, you're never alone. Okay? We're going to tell God, in our mind, we're going to take a minute when you're drinking the coffee, just close your eyes. Turn over to Him. Look at Him. This is what we're doing today. And then throughout the day, in your mind, don't do it so people close your eyes and look and start talking to God. Don't do that. People think you're weird. It's just a thought, just like you shift in your mind to a memory or a fantasy or anything. I just want you, as you go throughout your day, and you're traveling on your golden path, and you encounter something that you could use a little guidance with, I want you just in your mind look over at Him and say, well, what do you think? Which way should we go? Should we go right? Should we left? And then listen. This God-centered conscious creation is going to bridge the gap between religions, spirituality, everything. Because we're going to learn to have that close, honest, you and God on a journey, personal connection with Him and our creation of our reality that is not housed in a church. It is not confined by a set of rules. You do not have to pay dues to do it. It's you and God. It's your wingman. It's your passenger. And it's acknowledging that you're not only responsible for what you're experiencing, because that's really easy to suffer when we do that. It's really easy to abuse ourselves when we do that. It's really easy to have addictions. It's really easy to do everything. It's not about being judged by Him. It's about realizing that you're doing this to Him too, as if you had a child in the seat next to you, or your dad, or your mom, or whatever. But even closer than that. Okay? So, every day, when you start your day, instead of all the negative talk like, oh God, I gotta go to work and I gotta deal with all these people, and then I have to do this, and I have to stop at the store, and then I gotta go home and cook for all those ungrateful people, and I gotta do this and that. No. Ask him, is this going to be a good day? And he'll say, yes. If there's something you don't know how to do or someplace you don't know how to go, do you have a map? Well, yes, I do. You're never alone anymore. And a lot of you have found yourselves in positions where you are the rock. I am the rock. I have no other rock for me. I'm always put in that position. So I walk with him. He is my rock when there are no others. And it's not, this is what they meant when they said, love God with all your heart and all your soul. Jesus didn't come around, walk, and glorify himself. He glorified the Father. Talked about the Father. He talked to the Father all the time. He asked him what he should do. This is pretty much, I believe, what he did. Okay? What I've noticed from this, I don't have the personal negative talk in my mind anymore about me. And like, oh, yeah, that was stupid, or oh my God, look, I used to avoid mirrors. I mean, I used to, you had to have just the right lighting, okay? I mean, for pictures, I was so negative and hard on myself all the time. I don't do that anymore. It just is what it is. And it is good. I just noticed it the other day. I'm like, my mind is quiet. It's pretty quiet in there. I don't have all this negative self-talk anymore. And I don't have negative talk about other people either. I've shifted over into an understanding of, well, that is their choice. That choice hurts. I would have rather they made a different choice. Tell you the truth. That doesn't mean he's a bad person. Doesn't mean that they're, oh my God, because what we'll do is we'll try to villainize everybody and we'll try to, oh my God, they're just terrible. And, I see this most often with exes. And, or let's say a new person, like a man gets a new woman and the new woman automatically hates his ex. But of course, the men, they always tell you everything terrible about the ex and nothing they ever did wrong. It's always a two-way street. But you don't have to do that. Of course, be on your man's side, right? Of course. But you don't have to join in the bashing. You don't have to, you have to understand that, okay, that was their deal. I wasn't there. I don't need to fight with his ex. If you guys have to deal with the kids or something, be cordial. That was their relationship, their time. I didn't have anything to do with that. Now, if she comes at you, then tell her that. Listen, I wasn't even there. I'm the new girl. Okay, you have absolutely no reason to worry about me. But it's just like I've stepped into this different way of thinking. I'm still me. Yeah, I still get upset. I still get mad, and I still, but there's not as much of, you should have heard some of the things, how we judge people all the time. I still do, but like not as much. Okay, it's gotta be pretty extreme, and it's usually just like because it's funny, when you see people out and around or whatever. But I jump immediately now to why did they do that? What are they going through? What's their perspective? And it's not so, and that's good because we're not immediately, see, when you start thinking these negative, low vibrational thoughts, then you leave yourself susceptible for any kind of demonic, shadow figure, bad guy, whatever, to come along and say, oh, egg you on, lower your vibration, stick a big battery, electrical cord into you and start draining your energy. Okay? I think this is what Jesus meant by turn the other cheek. The love your enemies, that was always hard for me. I'm like, why? Why? The point in that is he was teaching us all these things, not to be passive, not to be weak, but it's actually strength. It's actually eliminating the opportunity for those that want to bait you, the dark side, to get into your head. And then they don't diminish your vibration and it keeps growing. Okay? And then it's much easier to pull out of disappointment and sadness and anger and things like that. It just becomes like, well, I'm angry about this situation. Maybe I'll communicate that instead of lashing out and making it extreme. Well, I'm a little bit anxious, a little bit afraid about this situation because I've never done that before, or I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Well, maybe I could choose to remember that I'm on this highest timeline here. And I'm afraid of what might happen. Well, maybe what might happen, maybe it'd be better than you ever thought it would. You see, so these are the subtle changes that start happening when you do this. So I've been playing with this. So that's the exercise. So there's the initial jump, and then every day we're going to see ourselves driving in the car in this golden highway talking to God next to us in the car. Okay? And maybe instead of asking, because sometimes when we don't know the answer to something, instead of asking, we're going to turn to him in our mind and ask. This is really going to increase your intuition, your ability to communicate with him. And then you don't feel alone. You don't feel weak. You don't feel like a leaf on the wind. It's you and God creating the next step in your life. And so you're more apt to try for that job or to reach your goals because you're more confident. Because look at who you've got next to you. So instead of asking him, well, we've got this obstacle here. What should I do? Ask him. What do you want to do? And let's get there together. Some of you in my Telegram group notice I've been doing these, the conscious creation, the collective conscious creation. We've been working on doing it ourselves. But when you have access to a group of like-minded people, we should really try the collective. Okay? Much stronger. That is the power of prayer. Okay? Okay, Mike. So try this exercise. You're all taking the course before everyone else. You know that, right? That's how I learn it. Or make it up. One way or another, we're going to get there. It's not that I'm trying to, I'm going to force this thing because I'm tired of waiting around. Tired of waiting around for this and that. Tired of being in this limbo. So I'm going to create it. Like I said, sometimes, when you get backed into a corner, that is a catalyst for you to level up, for you to say, no, no, I cannot stay here. I cannot do this anymore. And so, so we tell, we cut people off, or we decide, well, if they're not going to come back, or if they're not going to come around, then I release you. That's fine. It's fine. But I can't stay in this misery anymore, waiting to see if that's going to happen. Or I can't stay in this misery anymore, waiting, watching every piece of intel to see when this is going to happen. No, we're not going to be specific. We're just going to jump on to the golden path that we wrote in our story. Quit messing around on these side roads that spin around in circles in this endless limbo. We're going to get back on the highway here where we were supposed to be in the beginning and start moving forward to the destination that is located on that highway. Why aren't we getting there? Because we're messing around over here. We made some choice along the way. Well, your path dictates that you're supposed to make this choice, or do this or that, and be this person, and move in this direction. And you say, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to go over here and do what's easy, and I'm going to take this side road, and we're going to spin around in this cul-de-sac over here, and just stay there until such time as we get so hungry and tired and exhausted that we decide to go back and get back on the goddamn main road where we were supposed to be in the beginning. Okay? And that is life. So, and we all do it. I do it. Everybody does it. But let's be more conscious of it now. Okay? We've done all these exercises. Writing the next line in your story. I got to go back and write them all down. I've started doing that so that, I'm writing books here. Okay, on video. So I need to, I'm going to put it all together. But baby step by baby step, we're going to get to a place where we're taking a look at our life, not as the victim, but as the creator, as the author. Okay? And in turn, it does seem like you're choosing control. But you're not. You're choosing to stop resisting the plan that you put in place for yourself in the beginning. Now, if you get onto this timeline and the things that you wanted to happen do, then you know that all of this suffering was you just yearning to get back on the highway where it resides. And you were off on some side road. I don't feel right here. I don't see my destination here. Why am I stuck in this alley here? There's a dead end. This is a dead end. I can't go on. There's a dead end. Turn your ass around. Quit messing around. And get back on the goddamn highway and get with the plan. All right? Because that's where it is. It's your mind telling you. That's where it is, and that's where you're supposed to be, and you're off track here. Let's get back on track. So try this every day. I'm going to do it. And just you and God, he's the passenger seat. Okay, hey, where are we going today? This is what we're doing today. Today I did this morning. Okay, we're going to go to Costco. Okay? Because we got some things to get. Then we're going to come home, and we're going to go to Safeway because they don't have the right bread over at Costco. So I just told them everything I was going to do today. And he's like, sounds good to me. So It doesn't have to be anything major. It's just involving him like your best friend. More than that, that I don't know. It's your co-captain, your co-creator. Never leaves. You're always in the car together. Okay? And if sometimes you have a hard time, say, you know what? It's like, well, I'm really, really struggling here, God. I mean, get pretty tired. I don't know. He goes, you know what? We've been driving for a long time. Why don't we pull over to a nice spot? And so I was thinking about that today. I'm totally sweating. I'm sorry. I was thinking about like driving along and just struggling along through life for a really long time, and then just with God, and then all of a sudden we get up to a plateau and we park and we look out over the landscape of where we've been and reflect. Get out, sit on the hood with him. Why not? And I was thinking about that, like sitting there. And so I sat there in my mind with him and looked out at my landscape. And I was like, wow. And he's like, and I heard him say, yeah. And I'm like, that was pretty rough. That was rough. And he's like, well, it doesn't have to be anymore. And I'm like, that's good. I mean, because the last 2 months, that sucked. That was hard. Really hard. He's like, well, you just stick with me, and I'll make sure it's happier. And so this is an example of what you can do. This so we have less need to find our comforts. I'm not saying separate from other people, but sometimes we put too much pressure on other people to make us okay, to always be our counselor. So what are you going to do when nobody's there? What do you do then? Do you give up? No. Heck no. So if you have this internal counsel from the Most High, the one who has the power to answer the prayers, the one who has the power to co-create with you, and you are open and honest with him, he's living your life, feels every pain, tastes all the food, every feeling, everything. You can't hide anything. So, I mean, it's going to be a more honest, open conversation and counsel from anybody. Okay? And then some people might say, oh, well, you're just counseling yourself. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because when you choose to communicate this way, something just moved behind me. Okay, it's the fan. Okay. Freak me out. All right. When you choose to communicate this way, you will find yourself in a place where you can retrieve the answers like I do. Because this is all that I have done. When I was widowed, actually I've talked to him my whole life, but when I was widowed, I couldn't let them, everybody's so worried about me. Oh my God, is she going to fold? I mean, what's going to happen? Is she going to be, I'm like, well, hell no, not on my watch. Those are my babies. Okay. I'm going to make everything okay. But it was hard. I mean, I cried in my room alone at night. I didn't know how to handle that. Was big. I mean, that was too big. I said, God, you got to help me raise these kids because everybody needs to think that I'm doing everything right. And That's when I learned to do that. That's when my intuition opened up. And this is what it'll do for you. I've always kind of been put in those positions. I have, haven't I? This freaking sucks really bad. It's gotta be. I did it to myself. I know it. It's gotta be because every situation has taught me something. It's made me very strong. I have been thrown in the water so many times in every position that I have been put in and had to swim or die every time. Actually, that's how I learned how to swim. I almost died. And I'm like, well, and I knew it. I was a little kid because I had like drifted too far into the deeper water and I didn't know how to swim. And like nobody's around. They all went inside for the barbecue. I'm still in the pool. And I'm like, well, this isn't good. I'm thinking, well, I've seen this done before. And I got all these pictures in my mind of other people swimming. I remember this. And so I just started moving like they did. And I got my way to the stairs and I got out, all shook up and going, learned how to swim. Anyway, so got on a horse for the first time. My friend had a horse and she was leading me on a pony with a not a bridle, a halter and a lead rope. It's just what you put them on to lead them around. Her horse took off, massive fit. Pony took off, had a massive fit, followed the horse. And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to stop. And I go, okay, let's figure it out. So I leaned down, lead ropes on the ground. I saw what her bridle looked like and what she was doing with the reins. So I took the lead rope, put it around, put it through there, and did what I saw her do, and I learned how to ride a horse. I learned how to drive a car, but there was always this internal guidance, these pictures that would pop up in my head. And I always reached out to God. God, I'm dying in the pool. I don't want to die in the pool. Even as a child, when the horse took off, I was like, God, oh my God, I'm going to die on this horse. I'm going to get in so much trouble if I die on this horse, because I was like 10 years old or 9 or 8 or something like that. And then all these pictures popped up into my head. I didn't know enough now then to hear the words, or that the words that were popping into my head were his. But that's who I would reach out to. God help me. Okay. When I was 15, I think it was, or 14 or something, we lived, I was with my stepdad at one of his liquors. He had all these businesses. Okay. And we had a lot of liquor stores too. And he had a manufacturing company. We went up into the hills. He took me with him. And I don't remember why we were there, but on the way home, he had like this 1979 Mercedes, and it was his like baby. And he's like, "You want to drive me home? I'm really tired." And I'm like, I don't know how to drive. We had to go down this grade like this. We had to drive 40 minutes from Ramona to Rancho San Diego. And he says, "You'll be fine. Just don't go off the cliff." And I'm like, okay. And I just try to remember, God, we're going to die in this car. I'm going to get so much trouble if I kill my mother's new husband and ruin his wonderful car. The guidance is always there. Okay, and it will increase. It comes in as pictures, it comes in as your voice in your mind. We're going to be more conscious with it now. I'm going to teach you to talk to him just like I do. And I want you every morning or periodically throughout the day, if there's a problem, oh God, look over in the passenger seat. Oh, what do you think about this? How should I react to this? And they'll say, well, just calm down and wait, usually. So whatever it is, now you have God himself riding shotgun on your journey through life. And when you get used to that, it's going to be much easier to consciously create the outcomes that you desire. But stay on the highway. Now, it may be written that you have to take a detour. Okay, well, crap. I got to go down. I got to take an off ramp here. And I got to go spin around with this person for a while because this is apparently some kind of, soul lesson that I have to learn because they're like shiny and great or something. And I think I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to go hang out with them for a while, and it's going to turn into a big mess. And it's going to teach me that maybe I should have stayed on the golden road in the first place and done what I thought I should have done and followed my heart or whatever. Okay. So that does happen. But every one of these roads has a different vibrational level to it. The golden road is truth. It is the highest of truth. It is the best of destinations. It's the best outcomes. It's the most peace, the most love. And when you're on the golden road, you will know it. You will know it in your life. It's not that everything's perfect, but it just feels right. And that's why when people say, do what feels right. Not what feels good, what feels right, what feels like truth. Okay? There's a resonance that comes from it when you're doing something that you wrote into your path to do. Okay? Hi, Marcy. I see you. So so everybody can start their Rumble rants. We can start the questions now. I just wanted to explain that I think I got it all in. Okay. Well, a couple more things here while you're doing that, while everybody's getting their Rumble rants and questions up. It is important never to blame God for your misfortune. That is bad juju, man. We don't do that. We don't ever do that. First of all, you just catapulted yourself into the sewer. And there's a lot of bad guys in the sewer. And they're going to devour you. We never turn against God. Because you just kicked your co-captain out of his seat. Okay? Everything in your life you either wrote to experience or made a mistake and made the wrong choice. It's all your doing. It's all your choices. It's not his problem. He's looking at you in the passenger seat like, let me ask you something. Who's driving here? You don't like that we're in the sewer, but you drove us here. And now you're blaming me. Well, you need to swim around in that sewer sludge for a little while until you figure out, where you went wrong. We don't blame God for anything. I say blaming the driver for the pothole that you just ran over. On purpose. You saw it coming. And you hit it going 100 miles an hour. And now you're blaming the passenger. Because it screwed up your alignment. Bad, bad, bad. We don't do that. That is not high vibrational. I had something in here about asking other people for help. I never ask anybody for help. I'm not going to ask you. You're going to have to offer. Okay, if I ask you for freaking help, I really need it. That hardly ever happens. I mean, I hardly ever even ask the kids because it's always a hassle. And I'm like, I don't want to. Oh, great. Let's see. Should I ask the children for their assistance? And take this peaceful environment that it is right now and turn it into a shouting match because they're going to give me a hard time. I'm going to have to ask him like 5 or 7 times. Okay? They're going to do a shitty job. It's not going to be done right. Then I'm going to have to say something. I'm going to have to teach them about, doing it right the first time. And then they're going to get mad at me. And I'm just turned this evening into a whole bunch of drama. So I just go do it myself. But too often in life we do everything ourselves on a spiritual level, okay? And we don't ask God for everything that we need. When we shift into this perspective on our golden road and we're thinking about him sitting next to him, we want to shift to the perspective that we're doing this to him. Okay? What was my point with this here? Oh, I get it. It just showed me that day. Okay. All right. I got another story. Then I'll do the readings. I still have another hour. We can do the readings. Okay. So here's me as a widow. Okay. I didn't want anybody to let anybody tell me I'm not doing my job. Okay. I'm taking care of the house. I'm taking care of the yard. I'm taking care of the kids. I'm taking care of the bills. I'm grieving and not showing it. I'm making the kids happy. I'm just doing everything. And I think it was like he died in August, and I did that. Let's see, August, September, October, November, December. I think it was like right before. It was like 2007, and we had a 100-year storm, and that was the year we got like 10 feet of snow, and I had to have the roof, by myself. That sucked. Anyway, so I was. Oh, no, I can handle everything, and everything is just fine, and I don't need any help from anybody, and I am fine. I am fine, and all the neighbors and everybody's, oh, Jenny, let me help you. Oh, no, everything's fine. So the day comes. We got 3 feet of heavy, heavy, wet snow everywhere, and I woke up to it. So I go out there and I'm trying to use the plastic shovel. You can't even, I had to use the metal shovel. Cut through it. I've got this giant coat on. I'm out there for like 3 hours. I got the walkway in front of the house cleared, and I got like half, maybe not even half of the driveway done. I mean, I had to cut and throw and cut and throw. There's no pushing this, okay? It was just ridiculous. And I'm standing there, and I'm doing it, and I'm just sweating because it's cold outside, and it's still snowing, and I turn around, there's more snow, and I'm like, and then I just like got so exhausted that I threw the shovel down, and I looked at the work that lay ahead of me, and I was getting so tired. And I knew I had to go back in, take care of the kids. I had to do all this stuff, and I just threw it down, and I said, okay, God. I looked up in the sky. Okay, God. I need help. Help me. I shit you not. 20 seconds later, this guy comes down the road on this 4-wheeler quad. And it's got a plow on it. Stops right in front of me. And that's when, I think it was 2000. It might have been 2008. I can't remember. But that's when real estate, all the real estate agents were just, they were losing everything. And so he drove up and he's like, you look like you need help. And I'm like, that was good. I mean, this is interesting. That was good. I mean, 20 seconds later, guy drives right in front of me. You look like you need help. And I'm like, He goes, I'm a real estate agent and things are slow and I'm clearing people's driveways. Would you like me to clear yours? And I'm like, how much? And it was like $15 or something. I said, I'll pay you every day if you come back here. I got all kinds of other stuff for you to do. But I couldn't believe it. It was like everything was so hard. It was like everything was so, but I was choosing to do it myself. I'm not saying don't be open to do the work, because we want to stay open to do the work, but nothing got easier for me until I threw my hands down and let go of it enough and asked for help. And who sent me the help immediately? God did. And every time over the years, I'm like that, I don't abuse it. But like whenever, like with money, anything got serious, I start to get a little nervous. I say, God, I need this now. Boom, there it is. Money, health for the kids. Somebody comes along to help me. And it wasn't until I took my hands off it. That's what they mean by let go and let God. You got to ask. You got to allow Him to assist you in the creation of your tomorrow and your reality. And let's do that on the best road that we have, on the golden path. Okay? Okay. Let's get to questions. Done with that. What am I doing? Okay, we're going over to Rumble. Marcy's in there. I see that, so nobody better misbehave, because that woman's badass. All right, she will kick your ass. She will. Okay. All right. Let me start over here. Janet. Hi, Jen. This is Janet. My husband, Philip, has heat in his liver and gallbladder area. Can you see? Yeah, there's an infection in there. We need it's bacterial. Go in. Yeah, that's infection. Okay, Honeybun 12, thank you. Hi, Jen, this is Carrie from Idaho. Are you around me? That'd be cool. My daughter Haley is struggling with her self-worth, thinking she will never find love. Do you see her finding love and her person in the near future? Year and a half, she's married. Year and a half. Or it's like married, living together. This the problem here. Do everything you can. Get her new clothes, take her to the hairdresser, whatever you can. Okay? Get her a gym membership, whatever. It's her self-worth. So that's it's pushing out almost like this poison to somebody who comes into her energy field. It's repelling it, because she's saying to herself, I'm hideous. Stay away. So energetically, it's pushing it away. So we need to work on her self-worth. Of course, she's not hideous. But that's what I saw energetically, is just this waves of toxic, energy being pushed out, and it's repelling anybody from coming in. Okay. Victoria Scooble. Hi, Jen. My boyfriend's ex-girlfriend's been stalking me. Well, you know what? Swamp creature. She came to the funeral for my bill, grabbed a plate of food, a beer, and sat with her phone. Oh, that's trashy. Okay, just gonna say it right now. Did not say hi to the family. Will she leave me alone? Somebody like that, you got to stop playing ball with her. Or you could just do what I do and just stare them right down in the eyes and do not flinch and do not move and state your truth. That's what I do to people. And they just leave me alone. They leave me the hell alone. I'd be like, well, you have absolutely no reason to have any problem with me. You know, you just stare him right in the eye. But you know, if she's going to be explosive and come at you, let me see what's going on. What's the best way to handle this, Gabriel? She will. He said she will get tired of the misfortune that her karma is bringing her. That's interesting. She's getting a reaction from you. You need to act like this woman doesn't exist. Okay? It needs to stop the reaction. But yeah, she will calm down. Okay. Pamela K49. Hi, Pam here. Do you see me being 30 pounds thinner by February 2025 for my grandson Edward's wedding? Yeah, more than that. You look really good at the wedding. And you're happy too. I wonder if that's a med bed. But you know what? The one thing I've learned about weight loss, and not that I'm always successful, okay? I'm always working on it. But if you start every day as the first day, everybody does great with everything on the first day. Every day is the first day. Start over every day. And then there's no worry about yesterday and how you cheated, because today's the first day. And we just keep doing it. And then prepare. Have things that you can eat. Did I skip? No, I didn't. Okay, 20. Krabby. Kathy here. My sons are going to Canada this week for a car race. Will they be safe? Gabriel, all safe. C.I. Jane, Cindy here. Will my brother Drent get into a med bed, and when? August, yes. What, August? That must be a average date for the weather. Joe, hi Joe. Oh, thank you, Joe. This is Joe from Utah. You're a blessing to many. You were right. Kershaw's baseball team has gone on a winning streak. Will it continue? Need 4 more wins for a championship. Yeah. Yay. That's going to be exciting. Get it on video. That's awesome. Gabriel told me. Scott, hi Scott, 1484. Will the property in Escondido still be available when we RV? Yes, if it disappears, it's going off the market. They will sell it if you ask. Sheriff 42, hi Julie Crawford. You missed my $10 rent, Chris. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I? Okay, she asked if it's going to be able to attend my family's 4th of July celebration at my brother Tim's house in Michigan. Gabriel? Yes. Yes, you do attend. Julie W, 1776. Hi, Jen. It's Julie. I have my well woman visit with the, okay. All right. Let me look at that. How do I say this? Yes, everything's fine. You might get an antibiotic prescription. It's not a big deal. Okay. All right. Princess Sin. Hi, Jen. This is Cynthia M. I have a birthmark on my arm that looks like Atlantis. What does Atlantis look like? Yesterday, my 3-year-old grandson told me his fish coloring book looked just like Lumeria. Are we just that is cool? Just has anybody spoken about Lumeria around him? That's awesome. I love it when they do that. It's always at 3 years old. Faith did that at 3 years old. And Katie at 3 years old kept saying, I want to go home. I want to go home. When she get tired, I'm like, baby, you are home. This is our home. You're with mommy. You are home. She's like, no, I want to go home. I'm like, no, baby, you don't go home. I'm like, no. This is home now. We stay here. Okay, Cindy here. Do you see me being a snowbird? Like one house down south and one house in Iowa? Yes, you eventually have 3 locations. What's that time? Nancy. I went to visit my grands in Ohio this weekend. Them and 3 kids are basically fighting to survive. Family doesn't visit them. I was so down, I knew I had to just get out of their timeline, is the question. Now, who's fighting to survive? Oh, Harvey, the timeline. Everybody's saying Tuesday. Trump messed around, did something, and messed up my Mother Mary's timeline. But really, Mother Mary, all she told me is we're going to have progress, and then it begins on Friday. So we don't know what the hell began on Friday. But I'm thinking he might have delayed it a little bit. So now we're on Tuesday again. Okay? And that's all I know. All right. So I think that's the Rumble Rants. Let me get over to... If you guys would like to subscribe to me for $5 a month, that would be just awesome. Thank you. Basically, it's giving me a tip. I'm not going to be able to, with the Rumble Rants and everything, and the teachings, to get to your questions every show, but you're going to get a lot of content in a month's time, and a $5 tip is less than tipping your waitress for bringing your burger. Okay, so that would be nice if everybody would do that. And then I could worry less while we're waiting for the stupid RV. Okay, Gina, I see it. 2 other Rumble Rants missed. Hello, Jen. Tim here. My mother-in-law, Eileen's pet scan last week showed more cancer. Do you see her healed? I do think this is a med situation, but do email me her, Tim, email me her picture, first and last name. I'll put her on the free list. Do that repeatedly. Try to get ahead of it. Hey, Jen, Michael here. I gifted my roommate John Zim and currency. Will he have any issues at his exchange appointment? Gabriel John. No. Write something down, because I see him handing them some kind of note that you wrote and signed, that this was a gift to him. Okay. Scrolling back here. Oh my gosh, did we get more? Which one did I do last? Do that one? Yep. Did I do that one? Yep. Okay. Oops. Okay, Scott, 1484, monthly subscriber. With all the riots and military coming, is this the cover for the EAS? I don't know. When did we go from EBS to EAS? That's annoying. Why does that bug me so much? It does. Let me look. I've told you guys that when it's about to go down, the minions are going to start coming through the woodworks, and we're going to start seeing things like we saw in Seattle before, where they've got some reason why they're protesting or retaliating against how terrible Trump is. Well, it started. Okay. I don't know if this would have happened. Telling you the truth, if it would have happened before he got into office, it would have been bad with all the people we had in here. But then he had the removal efforts of not with the illegal immigrants. Under the guise of removing them, they have removed a lot of the hidden enemy everywhere, and that is good. So they have reduced the size of any of the invisible army that could retaliate, and so they're going to have to recruit people, citizens, to come and join in for a cause. I think that's what we see going on now. But especially in the liberal cities, you're going to get a lot more minions that were protected or hiding. If things get out of hand, we could get an EBS. But if they handle it one at a time, if they don't have enough army left to do this on a wide scale, what they're trying to do is influence Americans to take up arms against each other and have a civil war. What does that tell you? That they're about to lose. We're going to RV and we're going to go to gold, and it's all ready. So I don't see an ABS right now, but we're only going to need that if things really get out of hand. And I think they've gotten it down to a place where they can handle it. So I don't see one. Jen, this is Donna. I was wondering if I've shifted to the 5D world, and I'm a clone sitting here. And are you serious? And do you see me experiencing the RV and the med beds? You are not a clone. This is actually you. You're not going to. I mean, there's just no really. Let me ask. There's no way to determine that. You have shifted to a higher vibrational path, yes. Now understand, there is no completion on this. Doesn't mean, okay, I'm shifted and I'm 5D, so now I'm better than all of you, and then you just drop back down to 3 or 4, whatever you want to call it. But so it fluctuates, but we got to work to maintain the position. That's all I'm getting on that. You're not a clone. Okay. Let's see. Do we get any more Rumble rants? Hi, Jen. It's Annette. My daughter, Kirsten. When will she help herself and get her life on track? I'm worried for my granddaughter. I really see a big difference between September and October of this year. Just be on the lookout and assist in any way that you can. She's not quite done with her ways yet, but there's going to be a big shift that happens this year for her. Thormus, hello. Hey Jen, the owner where I work, Victor, is traveling to Laguna this week for a training seminar. What do you see for him? When? Let's see. So there is a rerouting. He'll be in a position where he's safe. I do think it might be closing up. It might be better at that time. I do think he'll be all right. Jen. Patriot Sonia. Okay. Jen. Who's really holding back the RV and 4B from going? Woman? If I knew that. We have been told for months that things are done. It's because we have to be under military, and why we are seeing the riots. No, I just explained that. We're winning, and that's why you're seeing the riots. Okay, this is a war. There have been wars fought for territories and everything else that you can think of. This is a war for control of the money worldwide. And evil's control over humanity on a large scale. It's not an easy thing. So, to tell you exactly who and where and when, it's been many people, many things, many situations, over and over and over again. Kevin. Jen, will I get a medbed appointment? Kevin. August, September. Brad, 2001, says, I missed his Rumble rant. Where was it? There it is. Okay. Hi, Jen. My name is Jan. When do you see me retiring and getting into a medbed? Retirement is... So first month I heard was October. I think that is the medbed appointment. Retirement comes earlier, and so it's like technically when, because of the paperwork and the things that you do. Where are we at? July 21st, as of this moment in time. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get going because it is hotter than hell in this little room off my bedroom. That is my current office. Did I miss any, girls? You want to throw them up? Okay, stop with the Rumble rant, stop with the comments. Admin, you want to throw anything up that I missed at the end of the comments before I do this? Thank you so much, my dear admin, for being in and helping me. I love you all. You're amazing. Jen, Weather Joe, Jen, there were a couple of Rumble rants above. Am Chan. I think I did it. Am Chan says, Jen, thank you. Are they falling off? No, I did that. Am I not seeing them all? Did that. Did that. I miss Cindy. Okay, thanks, Gina. Cindy here. Will the lake owners take my brother Drent's land away from him, or will we prove to them it's his? There is sufficient proof that he presents to them, and they cannot confiscate the land. Good news. City Girl 29, why do you always skip my question? Well, when you say something like that, if you would include the question after that question, then I could answer. Because I'm being mean to you on purpose. I have no idea. I have no idea why I always skip your question. Ask me again right now. Where is it? City Girl 29. Please ask your question. C.I. Jane, I thought I did that one. C.I. Jane, I just did that. I'm not being mean to you on purpose. I was just kidding around. I don't think I'm seeing all the Rumble Rants across the top. They have not changed. Okay, here we go. City Girl 29. When will I be in my new house? And when will I meet my soulmate? Judy. New house takes until February. I don't know why. Soulmate is not on this planet. I mean, not incarnated right now. Some of the soulmates you just can't incarnate with because it's just, you'll never get anything done. Okay? What we'll do is we'll choose somebody out of our soul group and say, you know what, you're up. You're going to come in here and be my protector, or you're going to come in here and be this. Okay? It's your turn. So who is, let's see, the next person. Oh, that's February as well. Sorry, I don't know why it's taking so long. I know whether Joe had a Rumble Rant. I saw that. I think I answered his. Yeah, that was about the grandson, wasn't it? I know who Joe is. See, the Rumble Rants are falling off. That's what's happening across my screen. Because there's less and less now. Pinned it. Okay, I did that. You can unpin that. Thank you, Marcy. You did a second one. What was it? Wait. Oh, thank you, Weather Joe. Sorry, Jen, one more question. Do you see me having trouble in exchanging the currency that I have? There is one bill that is weathered or something, damaged. So it's hard to read the serial number or something, but they go ahead and take it. So no. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let's start. Let's jump to our best timeline. And do remember to have that thought, and just if it's just a little glance over to God in the morning and say, okay, this is what we're doing today. Thank you for being with me, and please help me with this or whatever. But see yourself in the car on that golden path. We're going to strengthen that every day. We're going to keep choosing over and over every day to stay on the golden path, okay? Okay, let's do that. And thank you, everybody, for being here with me. And I will see you tomorrow on Real News Live with Mike and Jen on Rumble with Mike Vera. And we'll see what kind of gentle we can get. Okay? Have a good night.